And she tells us we are into Business Etiquette Week here in Singapore, so we're going to find out how you can use that to perhaps get that subtle edge to push your business forward. When people come to you and say, do they come to you first and foremost before they embark on a business venture in a new country, Agnes?
Yes, they do, and especially where companies they have regional-based office, and before the regional salesperson embark a journey to overseas, they would usually consult us just for a couple of chats, and they will ask us what is the cultures when they're overseas.
Say, we take for granted that our neighbors and us, like let's say Malaysia and ourselves, we have a similar culture, we have a similar history. Do we still make mistakes when we go over to Malaysia and do business?
In fact, Malaysia is pretty close to Singapore. The only difference is we have when you need to meet people of different races.
Okay.
If the Chinese is meeting a Muslim, but I guess the Malaysian Muslims are not that sensitive to a certain extent as compared to UAE. So the Malaysians Muslim, they observe international etiquette as well, because Malaysia and Singapore are pretty close.
What about some place like Thailand?
Thailand has a lot of palms to palms praying.
Would they feel that a foreigner coming to them and doing something like that, perhaps being condescending to them?
Yes. In fact, you'll be very surprised when Thailand also observe international handshake, but Thailand's handshakes are very different from the rest of other countries. Thailand handshakes are pretty limp. In a way,
So you shouldn't be grabbing all of you.
The Thais are pretty sensitive over grieving. So when you over grab too tight, they feel that are you trying to,
We'll come back to you about that again, but we do have a call. Let's see who's joining us. Good morning. Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Yes. Do you have a question for Agnes?
Yes. Yes, I have a question for Agnes.
Hello.
I'd like to find out how important it is to have the right pronunciation, because we are all different. The dialect of English users.
Right.
So in giving
in our languages.
Correct. Yes. Sometimes people might, for example, this may take it as impolite if the intonation of our pronunciation is
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that. I was actually going to ask her about what we should do if we meet somebody and are writing to a person by email for the first time, and what kind of salutations you should use. But ma'am, thank you for that question. Let's talk about pronunciation.
Language barriers, right? When it comes to language barriers, when you meet somebody, I think it's best to be natural. So sometimes when you try to slang your English, and you might create a certain uncomfortable level to the persons that you're meeting.
So be yourself.
So just be yourself,
Ma'am, does that answer your question?
Partly. What I mean to say that is it important that we should discard our local accent and try to speak our business partners' accent in order to be understood.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. As long as we construct proper sentence, and of course, Singaporeans, we tend to have.
She's trying to be very diplomatic right here. Well, putting an accent on it, that's right.
Right, exactly. Of course, at the end of the sentence, try not to have the typical Singapore accents, as in the law, the law,
and
hair.
Yes.
So as long as you construct proper sentence, I believe when you meet someone for the first time, it's pretty okay for you to just maintain your accents, because every countries have different accents.
So keep it short, and of course don't delve. So we were talking about shaking hands in Thailand. This seems to be a fascinating. So I should extend a limp handshake.
A limp handshake?
Yeah.
Yes.
To a Thai person.
Not really a limp handshake. You still can have that grip.
Right.
But it's just that you do not over grip.
Okay.
Yeah, well, whereas in the rest of the Asia, you extend a very slight grip. Yeah, but in Thai, you just need to have a palm-to-palm connection, so there is no extra squeeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we talk some more about dress deportment, and especially if you're going overseas and meeting somebody for the first time, let's talk about that email thing. What salutation do I use? Do I say hey there, hi there, or do I say dear so and so?
Yes. Emails has been gradually taken over by, in fact, for the snail mails,
Right.
snail mails has been gradually taken over by the emails. And we have to observe, most of the communications are all done through emails nowadays.
Right.
So we have to observe proper protocol. And
Okay.
that is protocol because protocols are very strict rules. And there is still a call for salutation.
Okay.
So the salutations can be in the form of dear, can be in the form of hi, hello.
Okay.
Yeah, and how are you today?
But keep it
Keep it
formal
simple.
for the first email.
Few communications.
Unless it's your friend or your mother, and then you can do whatever
And
you
yet
like.
still, for the first few levels of communications, try and keep it very formal in the sense that try avoid having emotion icons.
Oh, emoticons,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
No emoticons in email, especially on a business, if it was intended business communication.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's talk about dress. How does the Singapore business person stand? Hey, we're in a very warm country, and she's looking at me, right? Okay. How do we stack up?
The dress code. It all depends on the level of the cultures of the company.
Okay, see, men overseas, men,
Yes.
even when we go overseas, it's easy. Use a jacket and tie.
Blazer.
Okay, yeah.
Blazer and a tie.
okay,
Yes, if you wear the suit.
But to use a jacket in this weather and walk down to the street if you have to take the train,
yeah.
it wouldn't be nice to go and meet somebody for the first time dripping with sweat.
Which is where I always advise the youngsters when they first come out for their first interview on their job. They don't have to wear blazer all the time when they're out. So it is always good to arm with a blazer. But when you are at the actual meeting, when you are at the location, when you're meeting the audience, then you have to put on a blazer.
Right.
Yeah, or a suit.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess in Singapore, suits is less worn by most Singaporeans.
Sure.
Blazer would be something that we would advise the youngsters and in business.
With a tie or without a tie?
With the tie for formal occasions, without the ties for business casual.
For business casual,
Yeah,
it's just a
business casual.
jacket. Can I wear jeans?
Jeans you can wear provided that you are meeting on a Friday.
Smart casual.
Smart
Only
casual.
on Friday. Smart casual
smart
on a
casual
Friday.
Or casual Friday.
What about does etiquette involve the way I have my meals as well?
Exactly. There's a
All
dining etiquette. Yeah.
So if I'm at a fancy spread, how do I start? Do I eat from use the utensils from the outside in, or from the outside from the inside out?
Yeah. First of all, I always encourage my students, as in when you want to dine, before you learn how to dine, you must learn how to set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when you know how to set up your utensils, you'll be able to dine swiftly. Yeah. So just observe the BMW. So layout will always come from the left to the right.
Okay.
So the B is the bread.
Okay.
M is the main course.
Okay.
And the W is for water.
Oh.
Yeah. So when it comes to dining etiquette, you dine from the outside in. So of course you observe the level of courses.
Some etiquette people say when I'm having an interview over lunch or over dinner,
Over a meal.
should I be eating?
Depends. You take the cue from the host.
Okay.
Well, if the host is asking you a question, of course you won't be.
Don't eat your mouth open.
Yeah, you can't have your mouth open while you're eating. But
Sure.
we do encourage a small bite.
Okay.
So don't take such a big bite and then you don't know where to shove your food.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good to have a small bite so that it allows you to have at least a simple answer, as in a yes. Yeah, or no, or or you may add on something like yeah, I get you, and then while you swallow it, and then you continue the sentence.
Final question, Agnes. Is there what should I be eating at an occasion like this?
Right.
Is there
When
a
you
right
are
thing?
at the
Is there a
interview?
right thing or a wrong thing to order?
When you're in the interview,
Yes.
try not to order anything that requires your hands. Yeah, so like pizza,
Right.
chicken wings,
Okay.
and something that is too complicated, like for example spaghetti.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to twirl your spaghetti, and you never know when you show up in a white shirt,
Right.
and you know when you are extremely nervous. You tend to eat with your spaghetti sauce flying all over. Yeah.
And no white shirts with carbonara sauce. Oh, what is it? What is the red sauce? Meat sauce.
Yeah. So when you're wearing white shirts, try to avoid having complicated items. Yeah, taking complicated items.
We could talk all day, Agnes. Do you mind if I call you the etiquette lady?
Yeah, sure.
And do you mind if I will call on you again to talk to us about how you can put your child through some etiquette training as well?
Certainly, it's my pleasure.
And of course, we were speaking today with Agnes Koh. Agnes is the director at Etiquette and Image International. We were talking about Business Etiquette Week in Singapore and the do's and don'ts very, very briefly, and perhaps the subtler forms of business relationships that may put your business over the edge. Agnes, once again, thank you so much, and I know we'll be talking again.
Thank you very much, Keith.
You've been listening to The Breakfast Club on 938 Live. This has been The Morning Agenda. I'm Keith Souza.
938 Live gets you talking.